All right, guys, here we are back with another business breakthrough. And in today's episode, I'm here with Byron Stoddard. He is a future painting business owner and wanted to get some information on what he needed to do to get started. He's in a really unique situation. I mean, I think it would be cool if we all were in his situation when we first started. He has the unique ability to pick and choose where he wants to start his business. So we dived in a little bit about where he's going to start his business, but more importantly, what he needs to do to get prepared because he's currently working his full-time job right now. So really great episode for those of you wanting to start out. And this is a awesome business breakthrough that starts right now. The big question you need to ask yourself every day is, do I own a job or do I own a business? And unfortunately, the majority of contractors out there own a job. That's right, they're a slave to their own business. But the other side of the fence is so much greener, it's so much better, and that's when you're finally fully in control of your destiny, your freedom, your time. And that's what Contractor Secrets is about. It's about taking back our time, building a business with systems, standards, values, procedures, putting yourself in the driver's seat. And that's what it's about. So I'm excited. I'm happy to have you here. Let's dive into the Contractor Secrets podcast. All right. What's going on, everyone? I'm here with Byron Stoddard, a podcast listener, reached out to me, has a unique situation. I thought it'd be a good opportunity for us to work through it. His company's Silk Painting. And where are you out of? Where's home base?
So my home base is Louisiana. I'm actually
Okay.
traveling for work right now, so
Okay.
I haven't started the company yet.
Gotcha.
That's why I reached out to you because
Yeah.
I wanted to build the
Game plan.
mindset and the
Yeah.
framework before I jump into
It's
anything.
important, man. If anything, I'll just give you a perspective, a direction. Kind of want to know, why the painting business.
Yeah, so I've done a bunch of different construction jobs. I did a year as an electrical apprentice, and I've worked as a handyman for a property management company, and I did a lot of painting. So I think watching a lot of business owners fail because I worked under a lot of contractors that didn't understand some of the things that you teach. Kind of pushed me away from that, but actually reading books like the E-Myth and stuff kind of drew me back towards the idea of entrepreneurship. And then whenever I found out about Dripjobs and the Contractor Secrets podcast, kind of opened my eyes to how important it is to hone in on one industry, one type of work, and so I think that
Yeah, yeah.
something
And
that'd
it's
be
not
cool.
about prohibiting growth. It's just about creating some momentum, and it's hard to create like it's all about momentum, man. When it's business, it's like I think of it as a living, breathing organism that needs, food, water, and shelter, man. And
Right.
when we find ourselves stretched thin, it's just hard to develop momentum. And in business, momentum's developed through systems, processes, repetitive tasks getting improved upon, predictable results, and what's interesting is like some people will want to do interior and exterior painting and cabinets. Well, those need to be marketed to people two different ways, but the
Right.
way they see it, it's just painting. So it's like for me, early on, when we look at somebody who's just getting ready to start, identifying what you want to do is key. So what have you thought of as what your niche specific service would be?
I thought about starting off interior and exterior, leaving the cabinets out.
Smart. Cabinets is its own business. It really is. And you'll learn that. I've even tried to do it where I would fit it into my painting business, and the process just takes longer. It's way more intricate. There's way more hurdles with managing people's kitchens, man. They can live without having being able to see outside their window because there's plastic on the window from the day before, but they can't live without their kitchen. So
Right. Yeah.
just a lot of things, man. You want to have a shop, you don't want to be spraying in their garage. So to do it the right way. Um, what is your plan? Tell me your plan. And I want to hear, what your plan is, and maybe I can help see if there's any holes in there or, further enhance your plan.
Right. So I reached out to you because right now I'm traveling for work and I've really enjoyed traveling, but I know that if I do want to start a business, I'm not going to be able to just be all over the road. I have to be a little bit hands-on with things. And the job, I've already committed to 6 more months because we work project by project basis for the job I'm working at right now. So my plan is to carry out the next 6 months and to just save up as much money as I can and move to Northwest Arkansas, which is a place that I've been wanting to live. I don't have a lot of connections there either, so that's another thing. But I was planning on moving there and then, buying a duplex or a house hack and then starting my business, going from there.
Gotcha. How much money do you think you need to start a business?
Um, I think when I messaged you, I said 50,000 because I set a goal to hit 25 this year and I hit that goal. And I think that I can manage to get to 50 before I go to start my new job. But I think starting a painting business, man, I think you could probably do it with 5 grand or so,
Thousand bucks, man. Because each job is gonna, you're pretty much profitable from day one.
Right.
It's like you're one of those things where like as long as you sell a job, that job is going to pay for the expenses relating to that job onto the next one. So it's good to have back. That stuff is great if you hire quickly and get a team together and you want to make sure you can cover payroll and you kind of
Right.
just go through the growing pains. In terms of traveling, it's not impossible, but you're entering the wrong business if traveling is your motivation. I think you
Right.
can create a business. If I wanted to travel right now, dude, I could leave. No one would know I would be gone and they
Right.
wouldn't care. My business would run the way it's running right now, dude. I could fly to California for a week and not tell anyone and nothing would change.
Right.
I built my business that way. We have, everything I do is remote with customer communication, with employee communication, with checks and balances. And why am I able to do that? Because I've built really strong relationships with a few people that work for me. Really strong relationships where they take ownership in my business in return for better pay, and they get the ability to be a leader. They get a management position, so, and some other perks, so really it's in the first 6 to 8 months of your business. It's really just about you finding someone that you can trust to watch your business while you're gone. If that's your goal, to travel, because the
Right.
whole purpose of this is to build a business that you can eventually allowed to make you money while you're doing other things. Like if that's not your goal, then you're always going to be kind of tied to the business. It has
Right.
to be your goal, whether you care about that or not. It should be your goal. That's what you should aim for, is a business that's independent of you actually doing stuff.
Right.
That's
Sure.
what you should shoot for. Now, again, some people, oh, I love being in business. I love doing estimates. I love painting. Great. But you should still focus on that, because what that's going to do is just going to allow you to create a system, that is independent of you, that could be sold to someone else in the event that that's what you want to do. What are your biggest, I'm not going to say fear, but I'm going to say fear. What are your biggest fears about? Because this is your first business, I assume, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any fears? Anything that you're worried about?
I think two of the biggest fears would be, one, getting myself into a situation to where like I'm all of my time is consumed by me being on the job and stuff. And then I think another fear, like second biggest fear, would probably be not being able to keep guys busy and keep them or have the money to pay on time whenever you're first starting out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So part of why you're saving money is to obviously fund the business, right? So like in the event that you needed to pay payroll, you're essentially taking a loan from what you saved up, and you would.
Right.
So it's weird because you're the only person. Like you have to split your personality into two and be the owner of the business, and then you have to be this lender investor who's going to get paid back.
Right.
You're just probably not going to pay yourself back interest, but that would be the situation. So I think the idea of you not being able to pay, you're in a much different situation than many people. If you have 25
Right.
grand, that's a good amount of money. Again, you're going to be profitable from the first job. Off the bat, you do have the option of learning how to sell the jobs. So you would market yourself as a painting business with, the branding, the logo. You would find leads. So you'd find people ready to buy a painting service or get an estimate for one. You'd sell it. Now anyone can do those things. Okay. If that requires like zero skill nowadays with Facebook, with Google. And yes, there are companies that specialize in it. I'm not saying that they're not skilled. It's just they're great at getting you volume. If you spent your whole day today inside of a local Facebook group messaging people, I guarantee you can convince somebody to let you give them an estimate, because the market is that big. Okay.
Right.
Where the trick is being able to do that on a larger scale. I can't do that. For me, that's just such a random approach. So I pay other individuals or companies or entities to do that for me, to bring me opportunities. Now, early on, the first thing you need to do, man, is understand that you have two options. You either start your business with subcontractors, okay, which means you have no responsibility to them.
Right.
You have no tie to them whatsoever. You have no worry or concern about getting them 40 hours. You don't have work that week?
Right.
Great. They're on their own. They got to go find their own work. You get to go do what you want. Okay. Why is that a negative? Why do I think that that's not the route that you should go? Number one, they have no loyalty to silk painting. Okay. In the same way you have no loyalty to them. Is that correct?
Right. Right.
That's number one. That's hard, because chances are you're going to want to create a good experience to your customer. You're going to want to give them the show. And these guys are just coming in because that's the job of the week, and they're going to work for someone else just like you next week. You're just this guy who sold the job. Number two, they know that you're going to not know as much as they do. And they also have seen people like you. Chances are they're going to charge you a lot. Okay. As a business, you should be aiming for 50% gross profit. And that's just an average. When you work with a subcontractor, you're selling jobs for two businesses if they do it right. Right. Now, that's another drawback, is that you're going to do all this work to generate a job that may be $5,000. They're going to want 3,800 of it. And that doesn't include materials. You're going to make $500, but you're not doing anything, I guess. I mean, you could be okay with that. All right. So that's that option there. Okay. Now you have an independent contractor, which is maybe one person, right? And you might be able to find a small job. You send one person to go do it, and you build that relationship with that one person. Maybe you come up with a daily rate, an hourly rate. Is that a great experience for someone? Probably not. I mean, if I hired you to come paint my home and it was the full house and you sent one person to come do it, I'd be like kind of upset.
Right.
To be honest, I mean, I think that that's a poor experience, especially if you're going to want to charge a good amount of money for it. And I'm sure you would come in and help if needed, but it just, again, if your goal is, I'm just aligning this plan with your goal. You said that you want to go travel. You said you want to have some freedom. It's possible. But those two options there are the short-term fix. You'll get freedom right away, right?
Right. Right.
All right. But the long-term fix is investing in employees, understanding that you need loyal individuals. Now, the fear of not being able to keep employees busy. What is the alternative? Paralysis by analysis. I mean, if that's the fear, then your only option is to hire subcontractors or independent contractors, which I've pretty much described to you that that's a dead end early on. Now, there's companies that are really successful who do that, and they're successful because they have leverage. They're a huge marketing and sales company that has a network of subcontractors. Oh, you don't want this job for this amount? Okay, we'll find someone that does. They have just the network, right? So they have the leverage. Again, you're just a sales company right now. Okay.
Right.
You got to build a loyal team. So when you build a loyal team in the painting business, I truly believe that, number one, although yes, you say you want to do interior and exterior painting, you've got to decide, do I want to take on 1 or 2 bedroom jobs? Do I want to take on full houses? Or exterior, do I just want to take on little trim work? Am I going to take on wood repair with these exteriors? Am I going to take on the full house? Am I going to add pressure washing to my services? So these are some things that you should think about. And I think whenever you do this, I always think full house is what you should do. Majority of people want their full house painted when they hire someone. And what that means is that you need at least 3 people,
right,
including yourself, making it a team of 4. And I think based off of what I heard from you is that you do like to work. You like to get, you don't mind getting dirty. What do you do now?
I operate equipment for a pipeline company.
Okay, so you can get gritty, and that's good.
Sure.
You're not just like this sales guy who wants to just travel. You're a hustler, bro. So what I think is the vision should be, 6 months in the grind. And the only reason you're doing that is to learn your team. You're learning the process. You're learning how to sell. You're learning what customers ask on the site. You're finding your leader. You're finding your manager. You're identifying patterns. You're looking at how long jobs are taking. You're looking at things that you could do better. You need to be in the kitchen. You
Right.
know, you got to be in the
Right.
kitchen, bro. You can't
Right.
just start a restaurant and leave. You got to be in the kitchen.
Got you.
If you do that, okay, you've built loyalty, you've built trust and respect amongst your team. You have a great product now that you could sell confidently from a distance if you want.
Right.
And there you go. But you got to go the employee route, man. And that's what I preach, because I went the subcontractor route early on in my business, and I ran into those things that I was telling you. I was overpaying. There was no loyalty. I couldn't even tell them to go to work. I mean, you know, ultimately, if they didn't show up that day, you know how embarrassing that is.
Right.
You
Right.
know, what does that mean? They had more leverage over me than I did them, and I was the employer. How does that work?
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
any thoughts on that, man?
I like it, man. I like it. You know, I kind of figured it was going to be something to where I would have to, you know, get down and dirty for a couple months and just get that foundation started. You know what I mean?
That's what the word is right there. It's the foundation,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
As far so what can be some of my first steps as far as like not being able to completely start the business yet, but you know, the things that I could be
Yeah.
doing right now to get ready.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of cool. You don't really know where you're going to live. So I know that you want to move somewhere. I think that would be
Right.
step one, is identifying where you're going to live and what barriers of entry there are to operate in that area. That would be number one, right? So if you need a license to paint there, I wouldn't move there. I mean, that's the
Right.
reality of the situation. If you have that sort of flexibility, go somewhere where the barrier to entry is low. I do like you moving into the South if you had to pick, because you can't paint up
Right.
north in the winter. I mean, I'm sure everybody would choose to be able to paint all year around. I think what you should do is look up your local competitors in this area. I think it's super cool that you don't even know where you're going to live.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Like you have a lot of leverage there. I mean, usually people
Right.
start their businesses and they didn't get to choose where they start the business. They just, you know,
Right.
so you have a lot of, you know, you have a lot of time, bro, to sit there and think, where do I want to
Right.
start my business? And look up the local competition, see how many reviews they have, see what people are saying about the services. Then you can do market research. You should look up Angie Leads. They can provide you with a report on how many requests come in for interior and exterior painting in that zip code. You know,
Right.
I mean, I really think that it's worth it, you know, because this is
Yeah.
where you're going to grow your business. And then I would look up the really good companies in those areas and, you know, look at their websites, see how they're coming across their customers, and don't get intimidated either. Don't think that like, you know, I used to get intimidated. I used to look at companies here near me and in Tampa, and I think, man, these guys got it all together.
Right.
And this was early on. And I'd be like, man, like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. You know, these guys had professional videographers filming them. Like, I'm
Right.
like, man, that I don't see myself getting to that point. And at this point, I'm like, you know, I'm perfectly, you know, capable of competing and probably beating them, you know,
Right.
because people in this industry are buying you. You know, it's not like this. You're not going to be a big corporation. Chances are you're probably going to talk to every person that, you know, hires you. So you're unique. You show that you care more than everyone else, and you're going to, you know, find that you'll be favored, you know. So with that being said, foundationally, you want to get your branding squared away, logo, website, Google listing. You can start generating reviews. I think even though you're starting in 6 months, hey, get that website up, because that'll get you a little higher of a ranking. It'll create some domain authority on Google. Get that Facebook page set up. Maybe even start blogging a little bit just to get some content on there. Instagram, but really it all starts where you decide to
Right.
move, you know. I
Right.
mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of, you know, so you know, just getting that foundation right, and then understanding the dynamics of lead generation, you know. Really, you got to really have a good understanding of like, okay, in order to sell X amount of money, I need X amount of opportunity. In order to get X amount of opportunity, I've got to do X. X could be a mix between organic and paid. In the beginning, forget organic. It's not coming unless you organically go and find it, which is way more time than you have. So you have to pay for it. So be comfortable saying, okay, and this is what I used to do. I used to just write numbers down and say, okay, I'm going to spend $1,000 on marketing on my first month, and that should generate me 10 leads. That means that I need to convert those leads into sales, and those sales should equate to this. Just something as simple as that, man. And then now you're getting in a position where hopefully you're getting closer to that time period. And then it comes down to hiring. And I think that you shouldn't start a job unless you have one employee. You know, if you start, let me put it this way: if you start doing a job by yourself, you didn't do it right.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, because you got the money, hopefully up until that point, we say 6 months.
Yeah.
You got the mindset and the time to craft this. What I would think that you should start thinking of, imagine that you're getting ready to take a franchise into wherever city you're going in, right? Keep that mindset, is that you're getting ready to bring a franchise into Arkansas. Okay. And if you were a franchise, if let's say I was your franchise owner and you licensed the franchise for me, you wouldn't go into that town with no vision or goal or, of how many employees you should hit, what revenue you should hit for the year, what marketing channels you're going to need, a local assessment of, median income. I mean, these are some things that, again, you are at a strategic advantage here, pretty much being able to throw a dart at a dartboard and move wherever you want. So, totally think about that, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Cool.
So what, any other questions in terms of like sales? Like, are you, do you have you ever any sales experience?
Yeah, man. So last summer I actually went door to door selling ADT, and I read The Seller Be Sold by Grant Cardone. And honestly, man, like, I love doing the sales and learning about sales, but that particular job, like, was terrible because we're basically going in and lying to people. You know what I'm saying? And it was super aggressive. So I think starting off in sales like that, like, it gave me this aggressive mindset, so I think I need to spend some time learning how to build more of a relationship.
I sold cars and I sold life insurance. Those are
Yeah.
two very aggressive sales. What you'll find in this industry is that people actually want to talk to you. Okay. They're very excited about what it is that you offer. You can use maybe 10% of that aggression in a good way, like I do. I mean, if you would have saw me in the car dealership, dude, I had to be a shark because I'm going to get eaten in myself if I don't sell. So, that 10% aggression should give you that nudge to be able to learn to actually close the deal on the spot. And that's something that I teach. I'm really passionate about. The industry needs salespeople in this industry to move the needle, man. And that's what you got to see it as. It's a good thing because they want the job done. As long as you have integrity, knowing that you're going to do a great job, all it comes down to is you being a good enough salesperson to persuade them to choose you over the other person, which they're going to do. But chances are better than none that, whoever they hire isn't going to provide a better customer service experience than you. You're here trying to get coaching on how to be a better business owner. There's not many people that do that. So for you, the way I see it is you've got to understand that right off the bat, you coming in with that sort of mindset is already going to say, hey, you're better than the competition. If you don't hire me, there's a good chance that you're going to get somebody who doesn't care as much as I do. That's the mindset I have whenever I sell. Reality of the situation is you're going to spend money. You want this done. It needs to be done. You're going to get a couple more estimates. Chances are, though, no one is going to care more than me. And really, the only thing you need to do is actually care. Like, you got to really care. Like, with you selling your AT&T services, you didn't fulfill. You just sold. When you're a business owner, you fulfill and you sell. So you get to see both ends. It was out of your control, wasn't it? So and that's what the hard part about those sales jobs is that chances are it's the same thing with me. I would do the life insurance. I never serviced it. I would sell the car. And if something happened with the car, I didn't deal with it, but when you own a business, you've got to talk the talk and then walk the walk at the same time.
You can stand behind a product
behind it, but you're creating the product. That's the thing. You have, so that's why when it comes to your hiring, whatever you're hiring is the product. The painting isn't the product, bro. Don't get it twisted. Okay. That's a big misconception. People think the painting is the product. Nope. It's the hiring. It's the quality of which the painting is being done. Okay. That is the product that you offer to the marketplace. So the better you get at hiring, acquiring, and cultivating leadership, those are your three things. You have to hire. And that means really hiring means giving someone an opportunity. Acquiring means allowing them to stay within the opportunity. So that means keeping good help, in my opinion. That means, you found someone really good, providing an environment where someone really good would want to stay. And that is usually an environment of growth and teamwork. Okay. That's why I say it's good to have 4 people. Is 4 people more expensive than 2? Yeah. Could 3 people probably get it done in the same amount of time? Yeah, but I don't care about those things. I care about a team environment. I
Right.
care about leadership. I want someone leading 3 rather than leading 2. I want somebody leading, leading a team rather than a couple guys. It's just a
Right.
different mindset. So, and then the last part is cultivating the leadership, which is being able to develop your own leaders from within. Yes, you can bring someone in and say, "Hey, do you have management experience?" Great. Okay, well, I'm looking for a manager. No, I want somebody that is so invested in our company because I taught them how to be a manager. I gave them their first opportunity as a manager. And, if they take that and go somewhere else with it, that's great. But if I just focus on that, I'll never be short of leadership. And that is what will free you, my friend. And that is why I'm able to sit here and have a peaceful conversation with you at 12:30 on a Friday with 3 jobs running right now. And has my phone rang once?
No.
Not once. Okay. That's how you do it, bro.
Awesome, dude. Awesome.
So I hope, did that help?
A lot, man. A lot. And
Yeah.
dude, I love listening to your podcast, man. I mean, there's so many different questions I have, like as far as the
Bring it.
technical
You
stuff
got,
goes,
yeah, what do you got? Come on, I got a
Um,
couple more minutes. Anything stand out? I don't mind.
Well, I guess one that came to mind while we're talking. So me being 25, like I kind of have this reservation as if I were to hire an experienced painter, a guy that I would think, maybe to bring in or build
Yeah.
as a manager. Like,
Okay.
do you think it's going to be hard to earn that respect of older guys? You know what I mean? Guys that have a lot of
It
experience.
really just depends. I think I'm still the youngest guy in my company.
Yeah.
Wait, I think no, I'm the second youngest in my own company. I've always
Right.
been that way. Even respect is reciprocated. There's 2 types of people, man. If you're young and you have a pompous attitude, that means you don't have confidence in yourself. And I think you come across as someone with confidence. And I think that people feel that, man. Age no longer matters if you can treat someone with respect, regardless of their age.
Right. Right.
So it doesn't really matter. Whatever you put out to someone is what you're going to get back. And if you don't get that back in return, then that's a clear indication that that person shouldn't be working with you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That shouldn't
Right.
really be a thought, because the right person will hear what your vision is. The right person will understand that you're willing to do what it takes to build something special. There's not many people bringing energy into this industry, brother.
Right.
You find
Yeah.
someone with 20 years of experience, he's seen it all, man. He's probably worked for the worst of the worst. He
Right.
probably worked for people that broke their promises, and he's just really good at painting. But if you bring energy to that situation and frame it in a way that you're grateful for him to be a part of what you're building, not the other way around. And that's the way I frame it with my potential employees, is that I'm grateful for them to want to work with me. There's so many places they could work and so many things that they could do, and they choose to help me build my dream.
Right.
I'm grateful. I'm
Right.
grateful. So for me, it's like, when you find that right person, which you will, it's about creating something different, man. And saying, hey, and being direct, saying, hey, I want to build something special here. I want a business that we can be proud of. And I'm trying to cultivate you into a leader. And I'm trying to get you people underneath you that you can help learn how to paint, and you could be that person of trust, But here's the thing, very, very important topic right here, man. Never overpromise. Okay. In the beginning, so many people, hey, I'm going to get you a truck. I'm going to make sure you're a supervisor in 1 year of 3 crews. I'm going to make sure that you have your own location one day. Like they make these promises, bro. Just all your promises right now is growth and making sure that they can feed their family. That's it.
Right.
If something comes up where you're able to, only make it a surprise. And that's actually better than a promise. Don't promise more money. Don't promise raises. Don't promise benefits unless you can deliver it, dude, because your credibility will sink. So when it says,
Right.
will I earn the respect of other people? The quickest way to lose respect is to break your promises.
Right.
Don't do that. So, yeah, but I think it's fine to find a veteran. I think you guys can balance each other's strengths,
Right.
for sure. I don't know how to code or develop software. I might have to find an older guy who knows how to code and develop software.
Right.
I'm just good at marketing it and selling it. Like, that's my strength. In the same way with painting, dude, I'm a horrible painter. Horrible, bro. I just don't have the patience. My mind works too fast, dude. As I'm painting, I'm thinking everything I have to do. It's just my skills and natural talents are not painting. I had to find someone who was way better at painting than me, but we complement each other because they don't know how to sell.
Right. Right.
You see?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Awesome, man.
So, but that doesn't mean you have to offer like a partnership. That doesn't mean you have to offer equity or profit. You just have to make sure they're getting paid well. And usually they're going to be okay with that. And at some point, if they stick with you long enough, maybe even a salary, that's not a bad idea as well. Now, are you like comfortable with like employer taxes, like insurances and all that stuff? You want to hit on that for a sec?
Man, so as far as like the technical stuff that goes, I just kind of look at it as this big complex thing, and I was just planning on
It is.
doing one little thing at a time and just figuring it out as I go.
I mean, that's the sure way to never getting around to it. And the problem is, you'll start your business, and if you don't have that in place, it'll start off like, all right, man, well, I'm just going to write you a check at the end of the week. And then you get comfortable doing that, and you just start writing checks every week. And then guess what? He's got a 1099 for 12 grand already 3 months in, where he hadn't paid $1 in tax. And then you're guilty because you know that that's not the right way to do stuff. And who wants to work for someone like that, man? Especially somebody who has a family that maybe wants to advance their life and get a new house or a car. They need taxes taken out. You've got to be a steward of really how their money is, managed. Unfortunately, that's usually how it has to be, because they're not going to stop you and say, hey, man, you're going to take taxes out of this thing. It's usually not how it works. So for me, it was really confusing as well. Typically, you need general liability insurance, which is covers the physical damage. So if you get overspray on someone's roof or overspray on a car, or, someone punches a window because they fell off a ladder, I don't know, it covers that. Okay. So that's usually pretty cheap. It's usually around $100. Workers' comp is the big boy. Okay. Workers' comp is the mammoth of insurance, where it's proportional. So in other words, the more you pay in labor, the more you got to pay in workers' comp. Okay. Now, workers' comp protects you in the event someone gets hurt. It covers their medical bills. It covers, I guess, financial loss or whatever their lawyer wants to sue you for. Okay. So if you get sued and you don't have workers' comp, and I don't know what state protection is, but they can come after your personal assets and you're screwed. So that's a non-negotiable for me. It's just part of the game. Work it into your pricing, workers' comp. So workers' comp is usually depends on where you live. It's usually 8 to 20%. It goes up pretty high. So if you pay $100, or let's say $1,000 a week, give someone $1,000, workers' comp at 10%, that's an extra 100 that goes to workers' comp. Okay. And that's called pay as you go. All right. So that means like you just pay every week or whenever that payroll comes. And then you have employer taxes. So if you look at your paycheck right now, you have federal tax, you have state tax, and then, those are the two that you would pay. Medicare, right? Those three?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as an employer, you've got to match the federal and the state tax. You don't match Medicare, you match the federal and the state tax. So if you have to pay $100, I got to pay another 100 just to cover. That's how it works. Okay. So you might be thinking, dude, who do I pay? How am I going to calculate all this stuff? Right. Is that probably what's coming through the head?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't even know what to do. That's what I thought. I didn't know what to do either. So they have these payroll administration services, right? So essentially, like, they make it so easy. Initially, I had a company that I would just send them the hours that my guys worked, and they did it for me. They would cut the check to them, and that was great. But it was kind of weird because I like email them the hours. I'd be like, Joe 4, Tom 20. It's kind of weird. Like, I'm like, this is kind of weird. So, and it was like $400 a month, dude. I'm like, it's kind of crazy just for them to cut the check, But they facilitate the workers' comp. So what they do is they have a workers' comp company inside of that payroll administration, because it's proportional. So if they see what the payroll is, then they take an additional amount for that workers' comp and pay the workers' comp. And then, of course, they pay the taxes on your behalf. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that was easy, right? I just, hey, these guys work this many hours and you guys take the money out of my bank account. And that was it. And then they send you quarterly reports, and they send direct deposit to the guys. But then there's a company called Gusto, and I'm waiting for them to sponsor me because I mentioned them so many times on the podcast.
I've heard you. Yeah.
Gusto is just a self-serve option. So the initial setup's kind of difficult. You got to put in all your information, all the legal stuff. Once that's out of the way, then I'm doing what I was doing. I'm just putting in the hours, hitting submit again to review all the taxes. Boom, gone. Does the same thing for a fraction of the price. Like for you, it'd be like $30 a month. And it's brilliant. I mean, so what it does, it just takes the money out of your account. So that's called outsourcing, bro. That's called spending money on things that you don't understand. And I recommend the same thing with an accountant and a bookkeeper. Do you know the difference between the two?
I don't.
Okay, a bookkeeper is somebody who categorizes your expenses. So, for example, one of the things you're going to want to do is set up a business bank account. Reason why you want to do that is because you want to make sure that you can write off expenses. So right now, as an employee, you don't have the luxury to write off expenses. That's not what an employee gets to do. But as a business, you do. So that's why we want to keep our expenses separate. So when you start your painting business, you're going to fund that business for $5,000, put $5,000 in there, fund the business. That's, a good startup fund. And what you're going to do is anything you spend on the business, company shirts, business cards, branding, logos. That's why it would be important to do this now so you can start logging those expenses, because you're going to show a loss for about 6 months, but that's good because it's all going to get wrote off. If you do this now out of your personal bank account, you don't get that luxury.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's important to form all that, then buy your logo, then buy your t-shirts, and then get your business cards and all that stuff, put it under your business. So a bookkeeper, their main job is to categorize your expenses. So what they do is they get access to your bank account, and essentially from there, they move the expenses into buckets. Okay. So when your taxes are due at the end of the year, they're able to take that information and put them in the right categories does that make sense? But just to go back to the book, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So just to go back to the bookkeeper. So what they're doing is they're just categorizing expenses. And then what they do is they give that to the accountant. Okay. So they're two different things. The accountant is the one who actually puts together your taxes. Okay. Now you have two different taxes. If you start a business, you have the business tax, and then you got your personal tax. And that money will usually flow through your personal tax if you do an S corporation. Okay. I recommend doing an S corp if you get asked. So look for that. Okay. But did that give you some clarity? So those are the two things that I would outsource, is your accounting and bookkeeping. There's firms that do both. Okay. So you want to find one that does both. Don't be afraid to spend $300 a month on that. That's a good investment. And your payroll, which we discussed, Gusto, is probably the best option.
Right. So you're looking for a local bookkeeper, a local accountant?
Yeah. Go local with that. So you can visit the office and you could talk. I mean, you could do it remotely, but you want to find someone local.
Right. Cool, man. Yeah. It kind of gives me confidence too. It's really a cool time that we live in, having all these different technological advances like Gusto, so because I'm not
you heard of QuickBooks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people try to do it themselves, right? But the thing about it is, you didn't go to accounting school. I didn't go to accounting school, and it's always changing. So it's unless you're really staying up to date on changing taxes, it's just something you don't want to mess with. And the hours that you're going to spend doing your own payroll, people try to do their own payroll where they will have to calculate the taxes, write checks to all these entities. Dude, you could make a major mistake that could cost you thousands of dollars. Pay someone to do it.
Right.
So you can go sell more paint jobs.
Exactly. Right. I'm right there with you, man.
Yeah, man. So I'd love to hear from you in 6 months, man. You know, so if you want to hit me up again, or even along the way, message me, man, if you have any questions,
For sure. I appreciate it. So do you have a program or a course or something that kind of...
I have a sales course and a hiring course. Yeah, you can, if you go to dripjobs.com, there's a education section on there, and you'll see the courses there. Yeah, awesome. Grab those. Yeah, they're good, man. It's just a hiring course and the sales course right now. But that's really what you need, man. So it keeps it simple. Yeah. Cool, bro.
Awesome.
Was this helpful?
I appreciate it so much, man. Now I have kind of
good luck, man. What I need to do. You got this. Yeah, just good. I can't wait to find out where you move, man.
Yeah.
Pick a good place, man.
Sure. Awesome, man.
Thank you so much, mate. Find a place with stucco on the side. Look up stucco if you don't know. You know what stucco is, right?
Yeah, I know what stucco is. Yeah.
Yeah. Find a place with stucco. You'll never be out of work.
Yeah. Okay.
That stuff always needs to be painted. See you, man.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Dripjobs CRM is finally here. That's right. So Dripjobs is an automation platform for contractors, home service professionals that's going to automatically follow up with your customers. It's going to allow you to send invoices, estimates. It's going to allow you to send out blast marketing emails to individuals based on where they are in the buying process. This software is next level.
and I'm reaching out to you. You're a listener of this podcast, and I want you to be one of the first ones to give it a shot. So if you want to see what Dripjobs can do for your business, I'd love for you to head over to dripjobs.com, sign up for a free demo, and get your team involved, and let us sit with you and show you how powerful this software is. It's going to save you time, it's going to make you money, and you're going to love the features that are built into Dripjobs. So if you want to check it out, head over to dripjobs.com, and we will give you first priority being a podcast listener to be one of the very first to try out Dripjobs in your home service business. I'm super excited to share that with you, and I'll catch you on the next episode.